Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Hakuoki Kyoto Wins. We are along Toudou Heisuke's route. We were just about to start a snowball fight, but I had to cut it off before we could start because last video ran a little long, as I keep forgetting to look at the time. So let's get this party started. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story.
See, you gotta dodge the snowballs, and that trains your reflexes and hand-eye coordination. Doesn't that sound convincing?
It had, right until he asked if it did. Come on, he's not gonna get mad over this. I promise. It'll be fun. Okay. I guess a few minutes couldn't hurt. After all, it wasn't every day the snow fell this thick, so I wanted to make the best of it. I dug my hands into the snow and started to pack some projectiles of my own. Before long...
Yeah!
I felt a snowball fly through the air near me, barely grazing my arm. Hey! I wasn't ready! I picked up one of mine and threw it back, but I was no match for them. For each snowball I threw, they returned 5 or 6. Holy crap, they're fast. And every single one was aimed at Heisuke. Oh, poor guy. Oh, that's gotta really hurt, because I bet they're packing those things hard. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if they could probably kill someone with those things. Are you hurt? Just my pride. Hey, guys, how come you're only throwing them at me? You don't really think they would throw them at Chizuru, do you?
Oh, really? So you're saying we should try and hit her instead? Well, we wouldn't want to hurt your feelings. Sorry, Chizuru. I didn't think he was that heartless.
Hey, no, hold on. Don't do that. I don't think a couple snowballs are really going to hurt me. No, I couldn't live with myself. Alright, I take back my complaint. Hit me with everything you got. Your arm's so weak, I wouldn't feel it if you hit me in the Ow! You put rocks in these, didn't you?
Hey, that's a serious accusation. Although given how hard Shin packs them, I guess they're probably kind of like rocks, huh?
Yeah, I would have imagined. Gosh, you don't have to take it so seriously. Do you know these guys at all yet? I lobbed a snowball at them in protest, but they dodged it easily. This is frustrating! But they were only getting started. Heisuke had been backed up against a tree by a barrage of snowfire. He seemed to have given up on actually fighting back, and was instead wielding a long icicle like a sword, and cutting down the incoming snowballs. Was this really a snowball fight?
Damn, I thought you'd have given up by now. You've been a worthy opponent, Heisuke Toto, but this ends now. Oh boy.
Hey, what are you doing? Are you making fun of me? He was right. Their throws seemed to be shooting awfully wide of the mark. Oh, I don't trust that. Yep. Not a single one even came near Heisuke. They all seemed to be hitting the tree behind him. Wait. Oh no! Heisuke, move! But it was too late. He looked up just as the now overloaded branches released their burden. Oh. Heisuke? Heisuke? Heisuke! Don't die on me! He crawled out from under the snow, ready to continue, but... At that moment, Hijikata appeared. He was... not pleased. It seemed errant snowballs had put holes in several of the sliding doors. And whose fault would that be? Harada and Nagakura took the lion's share of the blame, and the fight was ended then and there. His adventure soaked Heisuke from top to bottom. Fortunately, I had a fire in my room, over which he was drying his hair. Oh man, it's cold. Stop moving. You're going to catch a cold if you run off with wet hair. His hair was much longer than mine. And he should have kept it that way. It was going to take a while for it to dry. As I wiped it carefully with a towel, he smiled a bit. I didn't think he even realized he was doing it. I'm kinda disappointed in myself. What? I mean, they never did throw any at you, so you were fine, but... I said I was going to keep you safe, but if they decided to target you, I couldn't have done anything. Today it was a lost battle in every sense. He seems so sad. Sorry I couldn't help you out. No, it's my fault. I should have had your back. If I'd done better, then maybe we could have beaten them.
Dang, Chizuru. You're even more of a rebel than I thought.
He smiled.
Alright, yeah. Let's just say that we both don't have the snowball skills we should. But, if we get the chance, we should pair up for the next snowball fight.
I don't know. We might be better off trading partners, evening things out a little bit more. Yeah, next time we'll win. We gotta train. Train for the next snowball fight.
Yeah, next time.
He looked at me for a long moment, and I saw his face fall.
Chizuru?
What is it?
I have this friend, and he has something he really believes in, and he knows what he's gotta do to get there. But in order to do that, sometimes he has to, get rid of people who get in his way, whoever they might be. What would you do?
For a moment, I just stared at him. The question had been so unexpected, I wasn't sure what to make of it. But it didn't take me long to realize that whatever had prompted the question, it meant a great deal to Heisuke. I chose my words very carefully. I think it's wrong to, get rid of someone just because they're in the way, or because they don't see eye to eye with you. Well, at least that's what I would have said.
Would have?
You know, before, after spending so much time with the Shinsengumi, I think I'm starting to get it. They're all doing what they do because they believe in what they're fighting for. And the guys on the other side feel the same way. It's not about who's good or who's bad. They're just some people in the world that you're never going to be able to get along with. Of course, I still can't really get behind actually killing people, but...
Yeah, you're right. If we could all understand each other, then we'd never have to fight, huh?
A samurai is someone who follows the path he thinks is the right one. Isn't that how it works? I don't think it's bad to fight for your beliefs.
Huh. I'm glad I asked you. I wasn't sure if what I believed in was really worth, well, everything. To be honest, I'm still not sure.
His voice faded out as he looked down into the glowing coals.
But you helped me get a little closer, I think. I'm going to follow the path that I think is the right one.
Heisuke? Oh, did I actually just enable him to decide to join the guard? He looked at me and smiled, but behind the smile I could see doubts and sadness and confusion. There was something almost beautiful about it, but it broke my heart. Being a warrior and a member of the Shinsengumi was very important to Heisuke, but I sensed something else was going on, throwing him into turmoil. I didn't know what, but it seemed clear that whatever else he intended to do, it would involve following the path of the warrior, perhaps to his death. Maybe that was to be expected, but it didn't change the fact that I hoped he'd live. We sat there for several more minutes in silence. Oh, I feel like we should have said something to end that scene. Well, now we're going into Chapter 4, April 1867. And now Ito is leaving, and taking Heisuke with him. So we have to be worried about the guard. We have to be without our man for a portion of his route. This time I had to say I wanted them to stay. Are you sure you won't change your mind? Stay here with the Shinsengumi? I can't be the only person who doesn't want you to go. We all like you. Aren't the Shinsengumi your friends? I knew they had their reasons to go, but I had my own reasons and I wanted them to stay. There was still time. If I could just convince them, make them understand, then they wouldn't have to go away. Please, Heisuke, Saito.
Don't say that. It took a long time and a lot of hard thinking to make this decision.
Is that all you have to say? Then please excuse me.
Are you sure? But if you go, then you might have to fight the Shinsengumi someday.
As I said, my ambition comes before my emotions.
Saito! But his mind was made up. There was nothing I could say to change it.
He's sure tough.
His eyes followed Saito as he walked away. Do you feel the same way? Can you just forget about your feelings? Would it be so easy for you to fight your friends?
He
screwed up his face in frustration. Heisuke was honest and straightforward, but he didn't have a way with words the way some of the other men did.
Hey, why don't we go to the courtyard?
He wasn't avoiding my question precisely. Perhaps he wanted to buy some time to think about his response. Alright, let's go.
It's, gotten really warm.
He lifted his face to the sky for a moment. It was a cool, clear blue, and warm rays of sunlight washed down on us.
Let's sit down here.
Okay. We like having a little date before he goes off. I lowered myself down next to him.
I know that, well, pretty much everybody doesn't like Ito very much, but I don't really think he's wrong, at least not completely. Honestly, I don't think there's much of a future if we continue doing what the shogunate says. I'm sure we're only disposable pawns for the shogunate's higher-ups.
I'm sure he's not. Considering the serum and everything else, I don't blame them for questioning and having concerns about the shogunate, but not wrong and trustworthy were two very different things. Was he really worth leaving the Shinsengumi? I wonder if he's thinking that joining Ito will turn out better for him than staying with Kondo.
I spent a lot of time talking with Ito about the corruption in the shogunate and just how bad of a state that Japan is in right now. Of course, I don't think Ito is right about everything. But I do think that Ito is taking a lot of what's going on right now into consideration.
Then,
I mean, after seeing how Ito reacted last night, it opened my eyes. Using your comrades, men who fight tooth and nail beside you, as tools for experimentation. Then on top of that, keeping it a secret from the people you work with is just plain wrong. I think before we knew it, we all stopped questioning these things, and it all became part of our protocol.
Heisuke.
I just want you to know one thing, though. It doesn't mean I don't like the guys anymore. I just want you to know that much.
Yeah. I understand where Heisuke's coming from. I was sure he spent a lot of time thinking over all this, even maybe stressing over it. If, after all that internal deliberation, this was how he felt, I'd want him to honor it, but... I know, I wanted to stay with you longer, Heisuke.
Yeah, thanks. It's nice to know you feel like that. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I'm not going to be sad to leave you, but that, doesn't mean that, Look, this is hard for both of us, okay? But it's something I gotta do. I'm a man, too.
I could clearly tell he was wavering. Pushing my feelings on him, I knew would only trouble him. I understand, Heisuke. So I wasn't the only one who would feel the loneliness of being apart then. In some strange way, that made me happy.
And thanks for everything, Chizuru.
Thank you for telling me how you really feel. I appreciate it.
Phew, glad to hear it. I just wanted to, make sure we were clear on that.
It felt like our conversation had lifted a huge burden on Heisuke, and his bright smile returned.
Oh, and also, I'm sorry.
Huh?
Sorry that I can't stick around to help you find your dad, I mean.
No, it's alright. Don't worry about it. Just be careful, Heisuke.
Yeah, I know. I won't throw my life away, I promise.
And you better keep that promise. My wound healed completely soon afterward, but I kept the bandages on. I didn't want anyone to see that my scar had healed. Oh wait, we can skip, sorry. And here we say yes, although technically it's really no, because at the moment Heisuke's not in the Shinsengumi. He's in the guard, but oh well. This time go outside. And we scream! Which brings Heisuke to rescue us from Amagiri. October 1867. October 1867. It had been half a year since Heisuke's departure. The demons, the furies, my father. So much had happened in that time. but whenever I had time for myself, my thoughts would drift invariably to Heisuke. I wonder how he's doing. Every time we ate together, I couldn't help but notice that he wasn't there. I didn't hear his voice chime in every time Nagakura and Harada were talking to each other. Everywhere I went, there were holes in my world that Heisuke had once filled. You know, when I got here, he was the first person that was nice to me. No, he wasn't. That was Inoue. I had been taken to the Shinsengumi headquarters under threat of violence, knowing I might be killed at any time. Many times during those first few days, Heisuke's kind and approachable smile had comforted me. When I let my mind wander, it was easy to think that he was still with us. That he could step through the door, smile, and... What? Hey.
Oh, Yukimura, you're still here.
Oh, Shimada? Yamazaki?
Is something the matter? I told you at breakfast that we would need to speak with you later.
Oh, yes, right, of course. What was it you needed to talk about?
We're currently gathering intelligence on the commander's orders. We need your help.
What? But if he has you working on it, then this means it's a mission for the Watch, right? What could I possibly do for the Watch?
Actually, this mission is something only you can do. We obtained the commander's approval for your help. We won't force you, but we need you.
And he looks awfully happy about it. Something only I could do. I couldn't imagine what kind of mission that might be, but it wasn't very often that someone asked me for my help. Sure, whatever you need. They led me to Kondo's second home. According to Yamazaki, they used it from time to time to change into undercover garments. So I guess we're doing something where people can't know that we're from the Shinsengumi? I took the clothes they handed me.
Are they girls' clothes?
Oh, it's been a long time since I wore anything like this. Do I look weird?
No, it suits you. You look like a girl you might find in the city.
They had given me a woman's kimono. It wasn't particularly fetching, but it felt like silk. I had a feeling it was rather expensive.
It fits perfectly. No one would think you weren't a normal girl.
I see. Thank you? I had a feeling they meant well, but it was very odd praise. Had they forgotten that I actually was a girl? Maybe they have. They've been acting as a boy for so long.
Is something wrong? We've arrived.
Oh, right. So, this is it? Isn't this just a normal tea house?
Yes. Our job is to sit here as a lookout. Act normal.
Okay, so you just want me to sit here?
Yes. The rest you should be able to figure out as it happens. For now, just act naturally. We'll be watching from nearby. Feel free to order some food and relax.
Before I could respond, they turned and walked off. Act normal? I'd never been given such a command in all the time I'd been in Kyoto. I ordered some tea and dumplings and sat down. So, I'm supposed to figure it out? Figure what out? Were some important people from the Satsuma and Choshu clans coming here to meet in secret? I was still trying to puzzle out what I was supposed to do next when...
Yeah, you don't have to tell me. I'm not going to betray Ito.
That's all well and good, but there are a few of us who think maybe Kondo's little boy is actually a spy. Don't forget that.
I told you I get it. If that's all you had to say, then get out of here.
I turned toward the voices and swallowed. There was the face that had appeared in my mind every day for the past 6 months. Hey! I stopped myself halfway through. The Shinsengumi and the guard were strictly forbidden from talking to one another. If anyone caught me, Heisuke and I would both be in a great deal of trouble. So I turned back, away from them, but as I did, Heisuke himself sat down next to me.
Damn it, jerks. Won't even let me drink tea in peace. What's wrong, ma'am? You look like you aren't feeling well.
Oh, shoot! I looked away quickly, hoping he wouldn't recognize me. Oh, no, I'm fine. Nothing wrong.
What's up with you? Am I really that scary?
His face was so confused and worried that I couldn't stop a snort of laughter from escaping through my hands.
Wait, did you just laugh at me? Rude. You just met me and you... Wait. You...
Is something wrong? His eyes widened, and then I saw realization dawn on his face.
Oh, sorry. I was just stunned by your beautiful face. Never mind.
Thank you. You're a real flatterer.
Hey, that wasn't flattery. Sorry, that's a weird thing to say to someone you just met.
Oh, come on. Everybody likes to get compliments.
I see. Well, that's good then. Sorry for being weird.
I saw Chizuru on his lips, but he didn't speak it. There was no way to know who was listening, and since we weren't allowed to meet, we couldn't risk revealing that we actually knew who the other was. After a short, awkward silence, Heisuke spoke.
So, you come here often?
Oh no, this is my first time. How about you?
Well, I've been coming here a lot these days. Don't really feel like drinking in Shimbara. Besides, if it means I get to bump into young ladies, I could deal with drinking tea instead of sake.
Maybe if I hadn't met him through the Shinsengumi, we could have met like this. Two strangers who meet in a tea house by chance. To anyone else, that was how we would look. You're right. I guess meeting here is some kind of fate, sir.
Huh? Hey, come on. You don't need to be all formal. I mean, we're about the same age, right?
Really? Okay, I guess I can do that.
Yeah, that's better. Easier that way, you know. Anyway, you should drink or your tea's gonna get cold. Oh, try the glazed ones. They go really good with the tea.
Oh, you're right. It's sweet, and then the bitterness of the tea. This is delicious.
See? Here, let me buy you another one.
It had been a long time since I'd spoken with Heisuke. Unfortunately, we had to watch what we were saying very carefully, which limited us mostly to talk of food and the weather. He was close enough to touch, but the wall that had sprung up between the Shinsengumi and the guard still stood between us. It's starting to get chilly now that it's autumn. Are you doing all right? Any colds or anything?
Hey, if I'm good at one thing, it's being tough. How about you? You doing okay? You look pretty healthy. Everything else all right?
I have to say I'm fine, but really I'm a little sad. Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, it's not like every day is fun all the time, and things are hard every so often, but... My voice caught in my throat. I still had the demons and furies to worry about, and there was still no word of my father. But I didn't want to worry Heisuke, so instead I simply smiled. I'm doing all right. I'm pretty tough too.
I see. Well, if you say so, then I'm sure you're fine. Take care though, okay? It's dangerous out there these days.
There was something in his expression that told me he'd seen through my lie. But even if he had, he'd chosen not to call my bluff and smiled instead. We kept talking after that. By the time we'd finished our tea, it was already late afternoon. One of us said they had to go, although I couldn't remember which one.
I wish we could talk longer.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to say goodbye after something like this.
He seemed reluctant to stand up. To the outside world, we were supposed to be two strangers who just happened to meet. We weren't even supposed to know one another's names. Well, actually, if you just spent that much time talking to somebody in a tea house, you probably would have exchanged names, you would think. But to say it just once, to put a name to the face that was in my thoughts every day. Hey.
Whoa, don't look so sad. You ruined that pretty face.
Before I could say his name, he stopped me, but his words were soft and kind.
Who knows? Maybe fate will let us meet again someday.
Finally, he stood and began to walk. Just as he passed me, I heard him whisper.
I don't remember when, but I think a while ago I asked if Sunday I could see you in a kimono. I guess today was the day, huh? Thanks, Chizuru.
Yeah, in fact, you guys asked me 12 times throughout this whole game. And I finally got to say yes once, and it finally got to happen once. Yeah, I'll see you later. Then we were past one another, walking slowly but inexorably away. As I watched Heisuke's back growing smaller, I felt someone approach me from behind. Neither of them spoke. They just waited quietly. It was kind of them, and I smiled. Thank you, both of you.
Sorry, but I don't know what you're thanking me for.
Thank you for taking me on this mission, for bringing me here to see him.
This wasn't about you. We were hoping to learn about what the Guardians are doing from Toto. And we've done so. We should return before the sun goes down.
Without waiting for a response, Yamazaki set off at a brisk walk. Still, there was something in his tone that sounded much kinder than it usually did.
That's the official story, at least. He's worried about you and Toto, though. I am too, of course, and so is Hijikata. He approved this, mission after all.
I know, and that means a lot, really.
Now, let's get going before Yamazaki starts telling us off for being slow,
Okay. It seemed like everyone in the Shinsengumi was worried about me. They did so much, and I could never repay them. Someday, though, I would. I repeated those words to myself and looked back at Heisuke one last time. Here I still went to help. And of course convince Heisuke. And of course I'm worried about Heisuke. I could see Heisuke hesitate. Who was his enemy, he must be wondering.
Toto, help us! What the hell did you come here for?
Gah! Heisuke regripped his swords, but... Heisuke! I called his name in desperation and ran up to him. I'd come here for one reason, and though our attack had hardly gone as planned, that hadn't changed.
Chizuru, what are you doing here, you idiot? You're going to get yourself killed.
He shoved me around behind him, his voice a mixture of surprise and anger. I'm sorry, but I had to tell you something. My run through the fighting had set my heart to pounding like an angry drum, and my lungs burned. I took a deep breath. You have to come back to the Shinsengumi. Kondo, Hijikata, Inoue, Shimada, and Yamazaki, they're all waiting for your return. I miss you, Heisuke. I want you to come back, please.
I can't go back. Not now.
Swords clashed, and men screamed around us, but I ignored them.
I did what I did because I thought Ito would be better for the country than... well, better. I thought by leaving, I wouldn't have anything to do with that serum anymore. That I wouldn't have to sacrifice my comrades anymore. What the hell am I supposed to do now?
I faltered in response to the intense sword battle, but I questioned him. Do you still believe that?
I don't know. There's no way for me to tell. But when he said that he would have Sakamoto killed, then make it look like Sano did it, it felt wrong, no matter how you spun it around, but...
Heisuke looked pained. He had a self-derisive smile that looked remorseful. It hurt me to see him so conflicted.
So, did I fail? No matter how harsh and difficult it was for me, I thought I was making the right decision by going down this path alone, because it was for myself.
Heisuke...
Lately, I keep thinking about the time I spent with the Shinsengumi. The serum, the furies, all that stuff seemed a million miles away from me. It's so weird. It seemed like I could only remember the stuff that made me happy.
I think about you a lot, too. I'm sure I'm not the only one either.
That's so.
The clattering of swords filled the air like rain.
I want to go back. I'd like to go. I would. But if I go back to the Shinsengumi, I don't know what I'm supposed to fight for anymore.
Fight for me! Fight for our love! What do you mean?
What are you doing, Toto? That kid Shinsengumi, kill him!
What kid? What him? Another member of the guard leapt at us from the side, his sword diving toward me. Ah! Just then...
No!
Heisuke spun and drove the hilt of his sword into the man's stomach. The guard member lost consciousness and fell to the floor.
Oh.
Heisuke was in a state of shock, then let his eyes fall to the man doubled over on the ground. He almost seemed to move subconsciously. It was as if he thought he was inhabiting another person's body, staring at his hands incredulously. Come on, you're protecting your girl.
Toto, you bastard. Are you going to betray us now?
Man, look how big Miki is compared to Toto. He looks like a giant.
Or are you really going to turn your back on us to rejoin the Shinsengumi, who murdered my brother with entrapment? Are you serious?
Heisuke's shoulders jolted in response. As he spoke, his voice was barely above a whisper.
Sorry, Miki, but I'm a pretty sad excuse for a guardian. Ito is so smart. He has so many connections, and he already seems to be ahead of the times. I followed him because I thought what he said would be right, but...
Heisuke slashed at a Satsuma warrior, one after another as he protected me.
But I've had enough of politics and ideals, and all that crap. Loyalism, nationalism, none of that matters anymore. I don't care if I have to fight 100 men or 1,000 demons.
He turned to look at me over his shoulder, and the grin on his face lit up like the sun. Here was the Heisuke I knew. It was the face of the Heisuke I knew so well. He's back.
No matter what, I'll be here for you, Chizuru. Any bastard that thinks he can come after you will have to get through me first, because you're what I'm fighting for.
That's what I wanted to hear. And with that final triumphant yell, he brought his sword up to face his next foe. With that, the battle began. Countless Satsuma poured into the narrow street in an attempt to choke us with sheer numbers. Nagakuro's sword flicked and leapt, utterly unconcerned with any odds.
All you've got is numbers. Anybody who wants to die, come at me.
Oh wait, can we skip? Sorry, we can skip. Oh, and actually, while I'm skipping, I'm gonna end the video because it's just that time. So yeah, you can see obviously here, we're going through the rest of this incident where Toto had to drink the water of life, and we'll resume the aftermath in the next video. So hope to see you there or in some of my others. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.